Welcome to the Quintessential Listening Poetry Online Radio and YouTube Podcast, streamed live from the heart of Washington, D.C. Here, you'll find a portal to vibrant voices, echoing souls, and an ongoing celebration of the extraordinary power of language. So, prepare yourself to join host Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram and his special guests as they explore traditional and spoken word forms of poetry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Quintessential Poetry Book Club discussion. Our first guest is Kolawole Alatishe. Kolawole is a renowned poet and a passionate advocate for peace, equality, and environmental conservation. His impactful work has earned him worldwide acclaim, including a prestigious International Peace Award recognizing his contributions to global harmony. His poetry collection, Human Togetherness, Evolving Towards a New Frontier, delves into themes of global unity, hope, and moral development. Kolawole inspires us to strive for a more peaceful and united world. Without further ado, I give you Kolawole Alatishe.
I'll be reading from my book, page 21, Human Togetherness. I'm that singer of hope. I come with the new dawn. Its emotion is the same root as the poor people whose news is never told. I am the sway and the flap of the flag. The flags are in the face of the sky, where the pigment of hope colors the face of our people like a rainbow. I am a music from the heart of our communities. My songs are made to free the children from the pain of history. I am a rough experience that reflects hope on the paved highway. I am a new journey on victory songs. I am the blood splatter of the vulnerable people. On my face is a map that shows the marks of their wounds too. I am an ocean. I sing words that plunge into the abyss where other human beings sink. They are wounded and suffer. I am a cloud that is driven by the heart of creation. I am a blissful downpouring rain in this river rich in love. I am a native, a rhymer, fond of balance, whose enchantment speaks of stories that live in the heart of humans. I'll be reading my second poem titled, Who is this new light? The breath of this evolution is a new dawn. It works, sings, prays, hopes. It's a genuine intensity in a world whose original taste is lost within the babble of healing voices in the wind. It is a new birth of leadership and a new wakefulness of joy that flourishes and blossoms like the petal. It is a new light that brings about joy and abundance to be shared with the people. It is a new light walking towards the biggest design of hope for all the places of the world. This new light is me standing towards the blueness of melancholy. The hour of hope could be expressed in an anthem of human togetherness. I'll be reading my next piece of work. It's titled Alatishe's Evolution from page 23 of the book. When I wake into a dream with the brightest eyes, there is a complete revolution that lifts up the voices of those whose stories are never heard. When Alatishe's evolution wakes up, it's like a shockwave whose intention is for the greatest good of humanity. Alatishe's evolution sets out like a dawn. The vibration of our human-centered thoughts raises up like the flapping wings of the bird. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, I take crown and throne to the people with lightning speed. When I wake into the dream with the brightest eyes, what I present to the world are pictures of hope and a new vision. I'll be reading my next piece from page 27. It's titled Without Togetherness. Without togetherness, the children move and sing the same songs. The people want to come to the table as leaders. They want to share with each other ideas that will transform the world. Without people and family togetherness, without community and global togetherness, we are weakened. Climate, drought, conflict, poverty, pandemic, corruption, terror, insecurity overrides our back. It consumes us. Without togetherness, we become godless in the face of challenges. We never are the juggernaut of accomplishments. If we are to evolve further to a point of revolution, we have to be up and remain asleep, and not remain asleep when we need to be awake. We have to discipline ourselves as an athlete will discipline him ourselves. We have to renounce our slovenly ways, sunken in materialism and selfishness. I'm going to be reading the next piece from page 29. It's called, Today I Call God. To think for an outrageous things. I told him I'm only but swimming within an outrageous dream. I told him, Lord, I can't handle it. I asked him, please show me off like a shining star. I asked him to use me, to seize me, and show somebody what he can do through me. Today I called God and asked him for outrageous things. The next piece of work is titled, I am here to take the baton of hope. You big wigs, you better listen up before it's too late. Use power, rule mankind. Your way has failed. Stop wrecking the world. There are more and more others like myself who wish to take the baton. The time of the people has come. The goal is to pass on the baton to those who will run faster and run well. I am here to take up the baton of hope and run with it so that we all can stand rock firm and make greater contribution to humanity. I am here to take the baton of hope. I want to run, not for politics, but for truth, and help drive the baton of hope. Run on ancestors. I want to ship my truth wherever it will travel, across mountains, lakes, streams, and then overseas. I am here to take up the baton of hope. I want to be one of those who light up the best examples in society. I want to run well and run fast for the actualization of dreams of the people. I am here to take up the baton of hope. I am set upon the stake to share stories that will inspire natives generation after generation. In my head are pictures of a new future. I am a young imagination that is bold. I will make bigger leaps. Hey, you big wigs, I pray for the baton of hope. I pray that the days of ruin and devastation ends. You big wigs who have caused our people to stagger between weaknesses, fear, failure, misery, and desperation. In his mind, Alatishe sent you to a planet of your own. You big wigs, why not seek a planet of your own and go? Hey, you big, in your cruel image. In his mind, Alatishe sent you to a planet of your own where you can destroy yourself and not with the people of the world that has such potential. No contentment. For the powerful, there is no contentment. Their toxicity is a foe that runs the businesses of the world. Ears are close to the cries and eyes are close to the tears of the people. The good conscience get beaten dead. The gap widens. Greed dwells within the blossom of our pathetic guts. And the only music that prevails within our mouth are war songs. I'll be reading is from page 34. So it's called, There is no contentment. For the powerful, there is no contentment. Their toxicity is a foe that runs the businesses of the world. Ears are close to the cries and eyes are close to the tears of the people. The good conscience gets beaten dead. The gap widens. Greed dwells within the blossom of our pathetic guts. And the only music that prevails within our mouth are war songs. The next piece is from page 35. I see the growing gap. For the powerful, there is no contentment. Not one, not two, not three contentments. What of the ever-expanding gap between rich and poor? It widens and widens. Is it not an awful sight? Does it not breed bitterness and then hopelessness? The next piece of work is from page 39. It's titled, The Woman Sings Her Children to Sleep. The walls of our community sit in poverty, hunger, death, and grief. With hopes tight and fatigued, the striving us falls by the wayside. With teary eyes, hunger surges inside the toes. Our people starve because hunger is a weapon on which the powerful rely. Our children feed on dust, scraps, and the weariness of a distasteful day. Our struggles and untold stories project themselves upon the awkwardness of our shrunken shadows. In poverty, hunger, death, and grief, the woman coaxes our children to sleep. The next poem is from page 40, and it's titled, In Their Bid to Kill Mongers, Take Away Quality Food, and Feed Us Nutritionless Food. Kill transformation. They throw us the scraps of righteousness. They lose our commonwealth, ship it overseas, and destroy the essence of our humanity. The powerful hunger and thirst after power. They divide, they suppress, and the willpower of our people weakens. In their bid to keep the power, they take away quality food and leave us to wallow in their death. In their bid to keep the power, they killed our fathers, mothers, brothers, and sisters. In their bid to keep the power, they take away our voices and kill our sensations. In their bid to keep the power, they keep us poor and no one hears us. In their bid to keep the power, let us see how they treat us. Let them walk in our shoes for just a day. The next piece of work is from page 42. It's titled, I continue to talk about the problems of the world. At the party of humanity, hope shines in my eyes as I hold the hands of the homeless and feed the poor. That is why the good names are written in our history. At the party of humanity, hope shines in my eyes as I talk about the problems of the world. That is why I keep running into the storm. Alatishe sees the struggles of others. He knows the stories of the vulnerable, but he's left with too many dilemmas on this journey towards togetherness. The next piece I'll be reading is from page 43. They continue to destroy our dreams. The powerful who are expected to manage the affairs of our state continue to destroy our dreams, those of our children and of the next generations. Inequality, social injustice, and unequal relations break our minds and bones. They corrupt the foundation upon which our future is to be built. While I sleep, while the children are sleeping, the powerful decide it's convenient to cut off supplies. They endlessly whip us with social exclusion. It is no news that achieving a dream is beyond reach, and to fulfill destiny is beyond reach. The powerful are the bitter mastermind, and they continue to crush the minds of the people. We are struck in the webs of hopelessness. The next piece is from page 44. It's called, Our People Are Voiceless. Poverty makes our people voiceless. It makes us unheard. In our days of trouble, our thoughts, flights, and discomforts seldom trend the news. Our people, our intellect, and our rich histories are never the priority for protection. The next piece is from page 45 of the book. It's titled, The Cold Death. When prosperity is lost, there is no peace. When injustice is the tone we are made to dance to, poverty prevails. When illiteracy and poverty are rife, the people are silenced. When our leaders crush us, the people suffer and cannot arise. These perpetrators strangle the softness and potency of our imagination. Our long yearning, dream, and vision are killed. They collapse under the chain of their captivity. The next piece is from page 47. It's titled, With a New Intensity. With a new intensity, I weave words and dreams about our most vulnerable people. With a new intensity, I speak for all the half-lives whose predicaments never make the news. With a new intensity, my gaze sharpens in the light that births new beginnings. With a new intensity, I act with purpose. Both my feet are on a mission. With a new intensity, I go to my people and we dance to drum beats that embodies my auguries of hope. The next piece is from page 48. It's titled, Let My Contributions Do Justice to the People. The best begins when we are focused like a laser beam on humane assignments. The best begins when we go home and love our families. The worst ends and the best begins when we achieve a sacred purpose. As I busy myself with evolutionary projects, may these contributions do honor to those whose happiness I seek. I'll be reading the next piece. It's from page 51. It's called Reignition. There is a history that's not in our favor. While we hope to change the world, let's rewrite our family names like new beginnings with voice of anticipation. Let us kickstart the process of igniting the smallest unit of our existence. The next piece is from pages 53. Faking it destroys our foundation. Each time we fake it, we are missing the law of honor. When we fail to lay our hearts bare, we fail to grow. Every time we fail to embrace our true identity, we stay empty. Each time we tell false stories, we lose our dignity. Faking it destroys our foundation. It kills the potency of our dreams. The next piece is from page 55. It's titled, We Have So Much Money for War. We have so much money for war, but we cannot feed the underprivileged or redesign our cities to prevent ghettos. We spend on weapons and systems that do not improve the quality of life of all people. The powerful forever grab our commonwealth and stack it away in faceless facilities. So the illicit gap forever widens. The next piece is from page 59. I see pathways of hope. Where I am from, I am not expected to dream like this, but I dream anyway. It's sometimes hard for me because in my head lives a constant explosion no one wants to witness. To carry a dream like mine in the head and in the heart is considered madness. But I equally know a dream that keeps me here and alive against all odds. Though we live in a nation that crushes the potency of our dreams, I see young people who are forging pathways of hope to our grandest goals. I am winning the war all over the world with the people. The next piece I'll be reading is from page 60 of the book, Our World Breeds a New Faith. When we eventually find peace in our world's sweet dwelling place, all of our wars will be done and over. When equity is the humblest craving in our secret and open cave, the river of hope washes away all the ashes of our tears. When our selfless warriors assume a seat at the great bonfire that brings prosperity, the dark of night will have no hiding place. When we approach our truth, day and night becomes true. The light of day and the dark of night will be clear to us. Scales of injustice will balance themselves. When business propagandas and unbiased narratives hold sway, the true essence of humanity triumphs. When we live by love, unity, and respect, there will be light in our world and devastation will die. The next piece is titled, Drop That Gun, from page 61. Let us gather together at our meeting places and leave behind our grieving. Let us leave behind weapons of mass of destruction and approach our differences with the grace of speech and writing. Let us exchange our stories and confess our truth at all times for the greatest good of all of us. Let us gather as guests and host at each other's tables, sharing each other's food without bias and conflicts. Let us drop that gun and begin to talk about unity and peace. The next piece is from page 62. It extends to page 63. I ask as a citizen, I see the thin legs of poverty walk the roads. I look at my cup of coffee, distasteful as I look into the broken mug, broken like the broken people whose stories are left behind. I see fears, anxieties, torture, and death as I watch lost dreams. It breaks me as it breaks millions of hearts. I hear the outrageous insurgency in the East, West, South, and North. They consume vulnerable people like vast fire. No one is left untouched in spirit, in mind, and in body. The people die torturous death. Death in flesh, in mind, and in spirit. Our humblest intention is crushed into the dust of nothingness. I see a dark monster mouth bleed from economic woes, terror attacks, injustices, and our pitiful cries are treated as if they were nothing. I see the monster mouth that devours our national lives. It devours us, heart, God, and spirit. Every day seems as my last, as my mouth is full of bitters. My eyes filled with tears after seeing a mother who lost her child because she couldn't afford the full price of medicine. An unfulfilled dream is buried in multiple metaphors. It keeps me broken, and my mouth is filled with questions no one will answer. So I ask, as a citizen, I wonder about those who promote a system that allows police brutality. I ask, as a citizen, and wonder about those who write books that will affect global reasoning. I ask, as a citizen of the world, who understands the pain young people should not experience? I ask, who will one day install the anthem that will enthrone the heartbeat of the common man? I'm reading from page 64, the next poem. It's titled, I will join my books with the people. I have two hands. One hand is out stretched to hold your hand, and the other is out to hold the hands of others. If I join my books with the people and share the divine energy that God puts in me, I become a leader who may foment a new transformations. The next piece of work is from page 65, and it's titled, Our Beautiful Untold Stories. For the people, I will set my fire in the rain and bring home the true essence of our beautiful dream. The drums of hope beat all around me. Upon my lips, the horizon of fury has sung. Complete change will come. It will come with the gift of poetry in our souls. Our beautiful untold stories will speak of abundance. Our beautiful untold stories will speak of abundance. Our buried voice will then speak forth. A new abundance will spring.
And let me ask a couple of questions. I enjoy your work so much. You focus on issues that should be important to all of us. Let's step back. Tell me about the creation of the book. How did it come about?
To be honest with you, I live in Nigeria and we're faced with economic woes. There's so much poverty in the country that people who cannot afford a means of livelihood. We have young people who are jobless. We have a severe situation in my country. I think we've been in and out of recession. And at some point, we've been faced with the pandemic. We had Ebola. And at some point, we had COVID-19. And I think over this period of time, we've never been able to couple with bad leadership. We've never been able to come out of economic woes. It's a tough situation. And ever since, I've been focused on issues that's related to anti-poverty. The idea is to find a way to end poverty and basically to eradicate poverty to the barest minimum in today's society. I speak for the people, for the vulnerable people who basically do not have a voice, people who barely have an opportunity to speak. And I feel like I could use my platform, my talent to speak for people who have potentials, but die, in the struggle. It's a tough situation, not just for myself, but for a lot of other young people. And today, I'm the voice of the people. And this is the reason why we have today Human Togetherness. because I realize if all of us, when we come together as a people and we join forces and we join hands together and we start to look out for each other, then collectively we can transform the future together. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you. So how do you believe poetry specifically can bridge cultural divides and foster the human togetherness that you speak of? As you said, we live in an increasingly globalized world. So how does poetry specifically help us?
To be honest with you, I try as much as possible to document the struggles of my people. I try every day to give a voice to the struggles of my people. And I realize that, art in general, be it poetry, be it prose, be it various artistic mediums, people tend to express their pain, their untold stories. And I feel poetry gives me an opportunity to express myself, to give my legacy a voice, to share with other people the vision, the dreams, to walk and toil, and in order for to achieve an important dream that will not only change the course of my life, but also that it will influence the lives of other people. And my initiative, it's transgenerational. It's not just about my generation. I think it's about the new generation and hopefully about the next generation. And it's never ending. It's transgeneration. Human Togetherness is what I try to promote. It's an important evolution. Now, what I try to promote is oneness, and I try to promote human mutual interdependency, because I fully understand that, not one person can do everything. We realize that we need each other. We need to collaborate. We need to work hand in hand. We need to be our brothers' keepers. And I realize that if we can all go back home and love our families, and then if we can go home and join our boats with the people, then we can transform the world. So I feel poetry, for me, gives me the platform to speak for the people, to hopefully enact the changes that I want to see in my society, and as much as possible, not only to improve my life, but basically to improve society, to improve the lives of many young people, not just in my country, but across the world. Thank you so much, Michael, for the question.
We live in an age dominated by rapid information and short attention spans, my friend. What unique value does poetry offer to our society that other forms of communication cannot?
To be honest with you, I think every form of communication has its own place. And I think poetry has its own place. It could be social media, it could be the main media, it could be the newspapers. I think they all have their own space. And I feel like as human beings, God has given us an opportunity to fully express ourselves. And I think poetry basically gives me an opportunity to artistically document real-time, real-life situations. I am actually big on documenting chaos in society. I talk about poor infrastructure in my community. I am big on environmental devastation. I'm actually big on having calmer weather pattern. So I'm not limited to anti-poverty situation in my country. I think my advocacy extends to giving hope to the hopeless, giving hope to people who suffer abuse and isolation. My advocacy extends to environmental causes. And it goes on and on. It's difficult for me to put a limit to what I'm capable of. And there's no limit to what we can achieve as a people. When we come together and work as a unit, there is absolutely nothing that we cannot achieve as a people. Thank you so much, Michael.
Can you share a poem from the book that you feel best encapsulates the new civility in the overview?
I think I'll read a poem which is called Without Togetherness. It's a pretty short poem, but it basically highlights the need for us to come together as a people. This piece of work is from page 27 of the book, and it's called Without Togetherness. The children of the world want to dance, They want to frolic together. They want to eat from each other's food. They want to sing the same songs. The people of the world, they want to come together to the table as leaders. They want to share with each other ideas that will transform the world. With our people and family togetherness, with our community and global togetherness, we as a people are weakened. Climate, drought, conflict, pandemic, poverty, corruption, terror, insecurity overrides our back. It consumes us. Without togetherness, we become godless in the face of challenges. We never have the juggernaut of acknowledgments. If we are to evolve further to a point of evolution, we have to be up and not remain asleep when we need to be awake. We have to discipline ourselves as an athlete will discipline ourselves. We have to renounce our slovenly ways, sunken in materialism and selfishness. This piece is from page 27 into page 28. It's called Without Togetherness. Thank you so much, Michael, for the opportunity.
As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about the great African-American abolitionist, Quintessential Poetry, who made the statement, without struggle, there is no progress. Are we progressing in terms of addressing some of the issues that you address in your book and in your other work?
To be honest with you, it's a very dynamic question, I have to admit. It's a beautiful thing that we are all connected by climate. It's amazing the fact that there are 195 countries in the world today. The climate connects us. The pandemic connects us. And every day, every week of my life, I realize that the world thirsts for an anthem. It thirsts for purifying water. In our essence, we are expected to flow together. And we are expected to look out for one another, especially the most vulnerable people. I said the question it's really dynamic. I really have to be flexible, and I have to delve into poor leadership. And this is basically a global issue. And I think majorly, before I basically delve into the issues with leadership that surrounds leadership, I think I have to also talk about the smallest unit of our existence, which is the family unit. I think today the family unit is broken. We have brothers and sisters who never look out for one another. We have nephews and uncles and cousins who never look out for one another. I think we are so powerful as a people, but yet so isolated. And when you have so much power in isolation, you are weak as a person. You are weak as an individual. And I feel, if we come together, if, for example, people in my family come together and begin to look out for one another, and the next family come together and look out for one another, and your family, Michael, if you start to look out for one another within your family unit, then slowly, I think we can transform the world. That way, the people collaborate a lot more. We have a situation where we lift one another up within our families. If one person is successful, and then it reflects in the lives of family members. And then if we could take care of our families, if we go home and love our families and look out for our families, it's not going to be easy, though. Could take us this initiative if all of us could come together and look out for one another. I think in the next 1 or 2 decades, we can begin to transform our lives and the lives of not just our family, but it will transcend into society and then into the nation and into the world as a whole. So thank you so much, Michael, for the question.
Thank you. Please share another set of thoughts.
Okay. This poem is from page 105. It's a pretty short poem, though. It's called "The Power is in the Liberation of the People." If we fuel our dreams and vision with intention and bold actions, Humanity's experiences will be improved for the better. The global suffering and grief we're experiencing will decrease in intensity if we rise together against poverty and social injustices. Within the largest consciousness shift in history, Alatishe busy himself with evolutionary initiatives. That's from page 105 of the book. I want to read from page 101 of the book. It's called I'm a Different War. In this war, I will unscrew it, fight it, till freedom and hope begin to color our universe of natives. I am war. I will sit on a stage without hands, without legs, and blow the loudest trumpets of victory into the sounding drums of renewed hope, of meaningfulness. In this war, I am war. I am a tall wall of protection. I am a fine wine in the bellies of our cities. I am transgenerational. I stare into the abyss of possibilities, and I am not nearly so afraid. I am a different war in this war. On the battlefield, I will write a name in history. The name I write will become words that will look into the future, to sing, to pray, to germinate.
Kowale, please share another set of poems.
Okay, I think. Oh, yeah, good. I'll be reading from page 66. It's called Within the River of Hope. For the dreams, visions, insights are powerful. Okay, I'll take it again. From page 66, it's called Within the River of Hope. For the dreams, visions, insights are a mighty power to be unearthed. My life strengthens. The primal energy rises from my bones and breathes. The sparks of my truth are example to the next generation. Within this river of energy, passion rises. It is not the blind me or the deaf me that is dumb. I am undistracted from my from my energy of mission. Just as the power in me wakes, special moments come closer, and the umbilical cord of my life strengthens my feeling of togetherness with the rest of humanity. For Alatishe's intent, my desire is to become an example that impacts other lives across the world. From page 67, I'm reading, Feast your eyes upon our legacy. Every day presents a perfect moment to genuinely explore the depths of our distinctive creativity. If then the stars fall by our wayside, we express all that imagination and sensitivity that these moments bring into the people's lives. Our transitional time has come. It is the highlight of the season. Our creation becomes the color palette that inspires the realization of new hopes and horizons. The next piece is from page 68. It's called I Become a Sharp Razor. Sometimes I am like a mirror that cannot see itself. Sometimes I'm like a grass cutter that cannot cut all the grasses. Sometimes my razor cannot find my own face in the mirror. But always, the sparks of Alatishe's mind and heart are lit by one light. Light that finds the horses that alone can slick his aching chest. It is the only light that guides him to the horses. His imagination keeps alive his hopes. It is light of humanity, too often hidden, that sparks from generation to generation. From page 69, winning with the most vulnerable people. I continue to talk big dreams, initiatives, and liberating ideas. It is to achieve an audience with those of like minds who want to give the world a bright future. It is to draw on the potential strength of the long vulnerable people. For humanity, Alatishe will only succeed when it earns the approval of the most vulnerable people. I think the next piece is from page 70, which is titled, I Do Not Belong to War. As a weapon is being fired, the notorious outcome I see are injuries, deaths, and destructions. It cracks the spine. This destructive display of power presents the greatest show of love. That often innate generosity of mankind meets with horror. Mankind is capable of such generosity, ends, weighing it in misery. Vengeance is an insane tiger. It obscures our honorable. It obscures our honor and hope. I do not belong to war, but mankind wages war when the consequences breeds misery. In this war, the world stops in painful tracks. Fulfilling assignments sink into the abyss of dreadful death. Any contributions I make will be accepted in the spirit of civility, unity, peace, and respect. From page 71, the next piece is dialogue and agreement. With hands upon hands, the citizen of the world calls for dialogue and agreement within the war-ravaged places. Our mission is to pull up chairs. We sit round a table upon which we are to write together. Before us is a jar of ink, a piece of paper, a feather with which to scribble our grief and aspiration. When we share discussions and visions, we make delightful pictures. We put ourselves at the service of the weak to preserve lives and the freedom of all of us, the people. From page 72, it's titled Without Prejudice. It is only when we stand for common good that the progress of a state is unstoppable. When a state finds peace within itself and other states, the people tell their stories with empathy and without fear. Without prejudice, the best outcome happens when our predators crumble. Only then can we learn the way of peace. I think I'll be reading from page 73, which is the last one for this section. It's titled Combat Boots. When I lace my combat boots, I yearn to wear them and hang them. But like those wonderful beings who speak for the most vulnerable people, I lace my combat boots only to fight for peace. And if fight I must, I wear them just as others who have fought to tread the path of courage. If I must lace my combat boots, I wish only to walk the path of the great peacemakers. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you very much. The description refers to you as the bait, or bot, the Argonaut, the light, and the new Jason. How do you incorporate these mythological and symbolic elements into your poetry? Talk to me.
To be honest with you, every day my voice is not a solitary one. As much as possible, I try to look out for people who vision as Alatishe visions. I try to look out for people who speak the same language as I do. I try to look out for other Argonauts, not just within my country, but in the various countries of the world. And people where I try to look out for mediums where I can share the light, where I can share my vision, where I can share my dreams, where I can share my hopes of a better future. And I try every day, I try as much as possible to put my name on the map for all the right reasons, and to be able to better the lives of other people. And this is what I try to do. In a way, I try to rise like the phoenix from the ashes and to evolve into a better person, for not just for myself, for my family, for my community, and for the world at large. And I hope if I share my light and my vision with the people, that way I can transform the world. Thank you so much, Michael.
As I read poetry in the book and have known you for a while, your book seems to blend personal experiences with broader societal themes. So how are you able to balance the intimate personal poetry with more universal messages?
To be honest with you, I could talk about my childhood. I come from maybe a big family, but I have a very humble background. I'm the first of five children. I'm the first child of my parents, and I fully understand the pressure that comes from being the first child and to live by example, to to change the course of my family, to bring hope to the family, to not just to my family. My life comes with its own share of pressure, with its own share of responsibility. It's never been good. It's always been struggle. I've always had to struggle through life. So I understand the pain of the vulnerable people. I have been hungry. I've spent days without food. I know what it's really like when people tell me they are hungry or they have no food, when people have no access to quality food, no access to nutritious food, and where they are being served nutritionless food. I've seen situations where a mother could not afford access medicine for the child, for a dying child. I've been through many situations, and I've been through situations where I could not even afford the tuition for my education at some point back in school, where we could not even afford to pay for tuition. And I know many other young people in Nigeria, not just limited to Nigeria, maybe across Africa, actually face a similar challenge where they struggle in school, where they struggle in their day-to-day lives. I feel what the poor people feel. And this is one thing that basically inspires my work as an individual. Thank you so much, Michael.
The overview mentions singing songs of hope in a society where hope had become an illusion. How did you approach writing about hope in a way that feels authentic and not cliche?
This is one thing I learned. People want to listen to real stories. I realized that we have to be true at all times. Faking it is dangerous. Sometimes we have to learn to tell our story. We have to learn to tell our truth. We have to learn to share our struggles, to share our stories with the world. This way, people better understand where I come from, what my struggles are. And this is me singing about the tragedy of the people who suffer police brutality. I try to give hope and to tell them never to give up, to keep trying. Maybe tomorrow could be better. The idea of hope is maybe it could be better. Maybe the next moment could be better. Maybe we could change something about the world. Maybe a miracle could happen. Maybe I don't know what it is, because I've seen many young people who have talent die. I live in a country where vision, dreams die. Many young people never live to fulfill their destiny, their lifelong ambition. I happen to be an example. It's been a very long struggle for me, I have to admit. I think I am here by the grace of God. I never, in my wildest dream, thought that I would have an opportunity to be right here today. I've really had a very difficult, I think the last decade of my life, it's been really difficult. And for me to be here, I'm a product of hope. And I really want to spread that same message across to many other young people who struggle, young people who suffer, and that I could be an example to them. And I continue to be an example to many young people, not just in my country, but hopefully the vision I hope to create, the dreams that I hope to birth would actually transcend from country to country, and hopefully it will transcend from generation to generation. Thank you so much, Michael.
We have time for one more set of your poetry. Please share some more of your work.
All right. Okay. I'll be reading from page 79 of the book. It's called Others and I Carry This Baton, Spirit Charged. If we play as teams, we can get the baton to each other. And when we succeed, the players and the old stadium will roar with elevating cheers and songs. The poet takes the baton of words to the people. The dancer takes the dance to the people. And when we eventually win, We all win. The day has come when others and I carry this baton, spirit charged. It passes from hand to hand, generation to generation. Others and I carry this baton, spirit charged, in our oneness. So a wondrous breakthrough lights us up, and bird flights points us to new horizon. The next poem is from pages 81, and it's called If I Am Triumphant. If I am triumphant over these hardships, and my new resolve becomes a blessing to future generations, I will rest in peace. If each of the heavy laden stones that poses as obstacles are being turned, and this giant axe leaves if the core values of love becomes the pivot of humanity, I will sleep peacefully within the graves of books that awake a new desire and read out the progress of history. I think the next piece is from pages 82. It's called Through the Hurricanes. Through the hurricanes, we the people can move in silence and yet run well. Through the hurricanes, we the people can run and yet run well. It's titled In the War. In the war, life dies. Our houses are full of holes, and our soul becomes empty. In war, who wins? If the crisis continues to loom, it is the rich and powerful who win. When we come to the table of communion for the world, we blossom in peacefulness, unity, harmony, and loving kindness. In the war, we fail to come around the table where all of us become leaders. So I think I'm reading from pages 84 of the book. It is titled, If We Do Not Tell. If we do not tell our stories, there will be no histories. Our virtue dies side by side, in the dark and in the light. If we do not tell our truth, false ideals break our resolution, and the next generation will never know the truth that we live. If we do not tell our stories, our legacies are washed away, and our children will miss the art of our humanity. So I'll be reading from the next page, which is pages 85. It's called, If Anyone is Watching. In this quest, I do not know who will be watching this evolution. If anyone is watching, will they join in power and help us blossom in this journey? I do not know who will be watching this evolution. If anyone is watching, will they pass to us the baton of hope? I want to be one of those who provides healthy service to the world.
Kowale.
If we read this last piece from page 37, which is called, You Who Love Me from My Heart, you who are my well-wishers, you who come from the river of my people, I can never forget you. You who have upheld my name, limb, and my growing life, I will never forget you. You who support the bed of my dream to life, I can never forget you. You who love me from my heart, I will never forget you. Thank you so much, Michael, for the opportunity.
How has writing Human Togetherness influenced your perspective as a poet? And what themes or ideas do you plan to explore in your next work?
Well, to be honest with you, I have a handful of work, to be honest with you. I think I've done a lot of work. I think my first work my first title is A Master of Clean and His Regard of Books. It was fully packed. It was an anti-poverty movement where I talked about the situation that affects the lives of the people. And my next book, which is Human Togetherness, basically talks about the need for us to come together and work together in order for us to eliminate poverty, in order for us to combat the situation with climate, in order for us to put a stop to chaos in society. I have other books. I think my other book, which is Save the Planet. This time, what we're trying to do is to promote biodiversity. I will fully understand that climate is actually one of the most talked about titles in the world. Was it 2019? Yeah, global temperature was around 1.2 degrees. Moving into 2022, it rose between 1.1, 1.2 to 1.5 degrees. We have Celsius. We had a situation where global temperature was high, and we had cases of flooding around the different countries of the world. And, it was a call to duty. We knew that the world was in devastation. We needed to step up. Myself and Linda Olson Graham, I invited Olson Graham, onto the project. We spoke about the need for us to protect the climate. The need for us to protect our environment. The need for us to eliminate toxins from the environment. The need for us to rejuvenate the environment. And I'm excited to be a part of such an important title. And then the next piece of work is Benita wrote on This Broken Heart, which is actually one of my books. And this book basically talks about the state of devastation in my country. And this time around, there was a lot of focus on 4 road infrastructure. We have 4 road furnitures, and we have a situation where people die on our 4D roads. We have a situation of crashes that never end. We have it doesn't just stop there. Yeah, I talked about a situation of wildfires. I talked about all the hurricane, which causes serious devastation in some parts of the United States. And at some point in time, I talked about school shooting in the United States, which is imminent. And it needs for us to find a middle ground so that we can stop shooters before they commit a crime, so that we can stop the shooters in the ball before the actual crime. And this way we're able to protect lives and their properties. And it goes on and on. And then the next project, definitely one of my onboarding projects, is Welcome to the Arts Residence. In this title, I promote the need for us to have a building that supports all the forms of creations. I feel like we have art communities all over the world. I think we could have a building that houses all kinds of creativity. I want a situation where you can walk into a building and you have your painter, you have your sculptor, you have your barber, you have your photographer. I want a situation where you can come into a building and all the forms of creativity be represented in this building. I know it looks impossible, but I feel it is really possible that we can have a building that represents a globe of creativity. And that is basically onboarding. And equally, at the moment, I'll be working on the next phase of togetherness. I think this is going to be a more detailed project. I first need to explore the importance of social connection, the psychology of exploring the psychology of empathy, compassion, and altruism. Definitely have to also look at it's a broad topic. I wish I could explore all the possible titles and subtitles that you will come across in the next phase of work. Cultural diversity and inclusivity. We have to look at social justice and collective action, and the role of storytelling and narrative in fostering human connection. A larger-than-life project. I don't know how I'm going to actually achieve this, but I'm actually just focused to the end of the project, and then to ensure that human togetherness serves its importance. And we hope that human togetherness can become a major course study, not just in our schools, but that this initiative can actually be replicated in our social sciences. It could be replicated in the lives of public affairs analysts, diplomats, public spirit individuals, political students, political allies, international relations and students, religious outfits all over the world, psychologists, socialists, and the entire world citizenry. So I hope human togetherness applies to all anti-poverty related cases and models of power, abuses, and chaos in society. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you. What a powerful reading. I know that you champion icons of change. Tell us about the organization.
Hey, absolutely. I think my vision is I understand the struggles of young people. I know poverty hits the people. beats people down. And as much as possible, I am committed to anti-poverty related cases, and not just in my country, but all over the world. And ever since this idea, I've been nurturing this idea for the past 2-3 years. And the vision is to find a medium to be of service to the people who are mostly affected in society today. And when I started, I thought about the first question is, how do I generate ideas that would benefit mankind? How do I generate support? How do I generate fun? How do I generate ideas that can linger for the longest time, not just in my mind, but in the minds of the people? And I thought about kicking off an organization which I call the Generator Initiative. I think the generator came from the idea of generate ideas, generate funds, generate dreams, generate visions. And I thought, okay, if you have my book there's a logo of my book, which is called the Generator International. I said Generator International. If there's a logo in front of the book, and that's a lighthouse. The logo actually represents a lighthouse. You have light beaming out into the world. I thought about generate. I thought, okay, fine. I think the idea is Generator International, Generator Initiatives. So I thought about kicking off the Generator Initiative Foundation in my country. And hopefully, if this idea can actually be replicated, not just in my country, hopefully in the United States, hopefully in the United Kingdom, in Ghana, and in other countries all around the world. And the idea is to replicate philanthropy on the global stage. And how do I go about this? I realized technology, for me to be able to connect with the rest of the world, technology will play a very important role. So I thought the Generator Initiative Foundation is going to become an electronic platform highlights philanthropy as a whole, right? So what the vision is very clear. What we have is a platform for philanthropy, right? And we have many people who are philanthropic investors all around the world, people who are looking for a safe way to support globally. We have people who are willing to give, and they're looking for a safe way to do that, and they have not been able to find a safe means of doing that. And I then realized that if we have a platform which is global, which is accessible, which is visible, then we can, from any part of the world, touch the lives of people. And we thought about the Generator International becoming a major electronic platform that serves the people. So we're going to have an electronic platform, and on the platform, we're going to have multiple programs on our platform. For example, we might have the Generator Initiative Nigeria. We will definitely have the Generator Initiative United States, the Generator Initiative Ghana, the Generator Initiative Sweden. So every country is going to have a program that is peculiar to their country, right? Every program, attached to every program, we have multiple issues. So every country is going to have their own issues, right? Attached to one program. And all of these various issues, has its own funding buckets. So you can log into the web or come into the blotter, then you can have access all the multiple issues on the platform. And what then happens as an institutional investor or as a philanthropic investor is that you come on the platform, right? Then you can choose to invest in the various financial funding buckets that appeals to you. So it's not an isolated situation, because we're going to have multiple situations on the platform. And that gives an investor the opportunity to basically look into the various situations and then they can then choose to invest in any of the funding buckets or in any of the stories that appeals to them. And in some other cases, as an investor, you can come into the console and create your own program. Do you understand? If you have a severe situation in your country, you can come through the console, create a program, and tell your story. And we can then, on the background, authenticate the story and approve the story that it's now visible on the blotter. You can come into the blotter or you can come into the web, that you can choose to invest in any of the issues that appeals to you. It could be your $1, your $2. In a very simple way, collectively, we are changing the world. That's the vision. Anyway, I don't know if it's possible. I'm not a technology person, but I just feel that this could become a global initiative. I feel we have investment platforms, trading platforms all over the world. We have Kiva, we have Marketplace. I feel like we could have a platform for philanthropy where people come together, where we look out for one another, where we support ourselves, where we tell our stories. And then I don't know if this is possible in my lifetime. I don't know, because I'm not equipped to be all of what I want to do. But this is what I want to see happen in my lifetime. And this is possibly what I want to leave behind. The legacy I want to leave behind is to have a platform that supports young people, vulnerable people all across the world. And the reason why I joined Icon of Change Initiative is because at the moment, I do not have the means of starting off my own organization, which is Generate International. So in order for me to keep my vision in sight, I decided to join Icon of Change Initiative. It's an organization that is present in Nigeria, in Ghana. And the organization is not limited to Nigeria and Ghana. It extends to the United States. They are present in the community, in one of the largest communities in New Jersey. They are in the Newark community, and where we actually serve the people. And I'm excited to be a part of the organization. I've been a part of many life-saving situations in Nigeria. We've rescued cases of abuse and isolation, multiple cases of abuse and isolation. I have been a part of a team that rescued a family that was suffering from severe malnutrition. And we were able to save a family of 6 young people who were at the verge of death. At the point when we rescued them, we were hospitalized. And unfortunately, we got to realize that one of the kids died before we came into the picture. And we were able to rescue the lives of 6 children. And we continue to rescue people who are in vulnerable situations, vulnerable women, widows. And the list is endless. We give out zero interest loans. What we try to do is to give out zero interest loans to women who are vulnerable, single mothers, widows. We have a list of them on our list. We have a lot of them on our list. We have at least 50 widows who benefited from the zero interest loan. We have young people who are in several homes, destitute homes in Nigeria, right here, people who we rescue. And we take care of them. We look after them. It's a huge, fascinating project I must have made taxing. And then we continue to, and this coming month, we're handling a back-to-school initiative. It's an education initiative where we give education materials to young people who are vulnerable. We try to support families who are in great need of our support. We give school bags, we give school uniforms, we give out sandals, we give out writing materials of all kinds. And it's what we do. We pay, in certain situations, we pay the tuition of primary school students. We're responsible for education facilities. And then the list is a endless situation for us. We continue to have various situations coming in every day. It's endless. It's overwhelming, but I must admit to you, Michael, but we continue to serve the people who are most vulnerable in society. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael, for having me here. It's an honor to be here to share my knowledge with the people. And I want to say thank you so much for the support and love.
All right. You're a remarkable man, a remarkable and incredible human being, all that you do. And I'd like to thank you for being a guest on the first Quintessential Poetry Book Club discussion. Hello, this is Michael Anthony Ingram. We have delved deep into the poet's work. Please take 15 minutes to reflect on your impressions through a free write or using one or two of the following prompts. After your reflections, the poet will share a final message with you. 1. What aspects of the poet's work stand out to you? 2. What images does the poet employ to convey his message? Please provide examples. 3. How do these images enhance your understanding of his poetry? What emotions do they evoke? 4. What are your thoughts on the poet's sentiments towards poetry? What led you to this conclusion? The email address of the poet is in the Facebook post description if you would like to email him what you have written. Thank you.
I think the message I want to spread across the world is the message of love. I want to encourage all of us to teach love to our kids and not competition. I think all over the world, we are being taught to compete with each other. Young people are being taught to compete with one another, be it in school, in class, be it in our day-to-day life. We've been taught to compete with one another. And I think I want to change the narrative. I want us to teach love. I want to have kids. I want to grow up and I want to have kids. And when I have kids, I want to teach them to love one another, to look out for one another. I want to teach them love. I want to teach them the values of humanity. I want to teach them love, to share. I want to teach them the values of human interdependency. I want to teach them synergy. I want to teach them collaboration. I want to teach them the values of team. I want to teach them the importance of family. I want to teach them to be good examples in society. And if we all teach our kids to be good examples in society, I think we'll have a better world. So I think if the message goes out to everybody, or if we'll be listening to this information, that we should learn to teach our kids to love and not to compete. And I feel too many of us teach our kids to compete. It's not just about coming first in class. It's not just about being the best. It is to look out for the most vulnerable people among us. It is to support one another and to love one another. I think if we can begin to evolve, if we can begin to share this vision, I think we would have a better world, and poverty will be drastically reduced when we start to look out for one another and we start to share ideas that will transform not just our lives. Thank you so much, Michael, for the opportunity.
Still craving poetry? Hundreds of episodes of the Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio and YouTube podcast are available to listen to or download on iTunes, Spotify, and other streaming platforms. Till next time, take care and let poetry ring somewhere throughout the land.